Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about Morepen Labs, a company in which the numbers have not been good, and let's understand what needs to be done in future and how the company is doing. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation, and people taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Now about Morepen Labs. It was established in 1987 and went public, that is, its IPO came into being in 1993, so quite an old company in the stock market, and it exports its products to US, Europe and majorly Russia, and it deals in API formulations and home health and diagnostic products. Even on-the-counter drugs are being sold by Morepen Labs abroad. There are three US FDA approved manufacturing facilities in Himachal Pradesh, one being in Baddi in Himachal. So that is how Morepen Labs have been working. So what it suggests is that it is having facilities as well as approvals in the same texture as you would say a Sun Pharma or a Aurobindo Pharma, but is a small cap company in the pharma sector. Coming to the financials of the second quarter, that is September quarter of FY20, we had a sales of 213 crores versus 174 crores. That was up around 22-23%, which is quite good. But the net profit fell owing to high raw material cost and high expenses in the form of internal expenses. We had a drop in net profit to 4 crores from 7 crores. That is a drop of over 40%. Uh, what is even more interesting is that the promoter holding has come down to 34.5%, which is quite low, because I prefer stocks with a very high promoter holding, at least between 50 to 60%, or a company should have a low promoter holding, but FII and DII holding should be so much that the normal public or retail investors have only around 15 to 20% or at max 25% of the shares. But here FII and DII holding is also not that much high, and most of the shares are with retail investors, and that's why we have seen the kind of movement in Morepen Labs that we see, erratic movements and volatile movements. Because what I believe is, and this is not confirmed, but what I believe is that retail investors and other players keep trading the stock rather than people investing into it for a longer period of time. Return on equity for the company has been 11.7%, whereas the net profit margin has dropped to 4% from around 6.5% a year ago. So what has hurt the company? Recently, what has happened is SEBI, the Stock Exchange Bureau of India, has banned further investment, trading, or any sort of movement in the share from the company. So the company promoters or the company management or anyone remotely related to the company cannot do any sort of share, you can say share activity or the stock activity in the market. Whatever stocks are outstanding in the market will remain outstanding, and trading will take place in those shares. But extra equity or further equity into the market, if the company plans to bring in through any sort of rights issue or any sort of things in order to raise debt, in order to raise funds, they are not allowed to do so. In the same manner, they will not be allowed to convert, say, any debentures or any preference shares into shares later on, in at least for 1 year. So this has been a ban, and this has really hurt the company badly, because SEBI do not ban such activities very easily unless they find something very dubious in the activities of management with respect to insider trading or trading in the stocks in their own company. So this is a big thing for Morepen Labs, although complete trading activity of the company has not been stopped. Second is sectoral sentiment, because nobody wants to touch the pharma sector. The crackdown by US FDA on Aurobindo Pharma, whatever has taken place with other companies like Sun Pharma with the Halol plant and so on and so forth, people are very scared to invest in pharmaceutical companies, and things have completely reversed from what it was in 2012 to 15 period, when everybody was flocking to buy IT and pharma shares, whatever shares they could get their hands on, including Morepen Labs or Leica Labs and so on and so forth, even a 100 crore market cap pharma firm, or they want to buy anything in pharma because pharma was the in thing about 4 years ago, but it is not quite, at least not 4 years, but 6 7 years ago. Uh, but it is not quite the same at the moment. The cycle has completely reversed. The numbers have deteriorated, although the sales figures have increased, but we understand that the margins and profitability has declined, and that has also left the investors sore in their mouth. There's heavy competition in this segment where Morpen Labs work. So it's not that they are the only company with USFDA approvals for generics, for ADI, APIs, etc. There are many. In fact, there are better companies like Sun Pharma or Bindo Pharma also working in the same domain. And above everything else, there's dubious management, and everybody wants to stay away from such kind of management or stocks. After seeing what has happened with auditors play that has taken place with at least 2 3 dozen companies across the board in the Indian stock market, be it in large cap, mid or small cap. So one needs to be very careful when such SEBI orders comes in the case of say stock trading or the stocks itself, that you stop any kind of further investment of stocks for the company and so on and so forth. And that's why people are staying away from the stock. And one more thing that is also not quite positive for the company is low promoter holding of only 34%, with low FII and DII holding, which means that major players or big hands are not touching the stock at all. So there are many negatives at the moment. The only positive is that it's not trading at a very high valuation or very rich valuation, and there could be a chance of reversal in the numbers over the next few quarters, but those are minuscule positives. So what needs to be done? You have to avoid at all costs, no matter what. At the moment, you have at least 5,000 shares to choose from. You do not have to buy each share that had gone up 2 3 years ago and is at 60 70% discount to its previous value. Analyze the company well and buy only solid profit making companies. It may erode complete wealth of yours if there are a couple of more negative news that come in for Morepen Labs. You could see the share plummet a lot because there are no strong hands holding the shares at the moment. Best to buy simple businesses, cash rich businesses, I've always said, and be very careful in small caps when you buy. You can buy, there are many small caps. I've also suggested in multi-bagger ideas you can buy many, but analyze yourself, and standard disclaimer applies. So this was my video on Morepen Lab. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get my video straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.